Let's see how many times they're and keep in mind, this is not a full list. Okay, this is not a full list. How many ways are they related? Jill Biden and John Hinckley twice. Twice. How many times are you related to people? Because I usually, when I'm related to someone, it's usually just one way. Really, it's not even just the presidents, vice presidents, secretary of states. Not. It's also the, you know what I mean. There's governors. It's the wives too. The first ladies too. Really, really. Here, look. Here's Pete Buttigieg. Pete, yeah, he's a mega royal. You know what I mean? Dick Cheney. It's all the same people, man. Paris Hilton. All the same people. Oh, let's see how many times John Hinckley Jr. is related to Boris Johnson. Oh, only 7 times. The president of the UK. Okay, well that makes sense. That's not monarchy behavior. John Kerry, the U.S. Secretary of State. How many times is he related to him? 2 times. Holy crap. So he's related to him 2 times. He's related to everybody 2 times, basically. Is that the whole deal? Is that what's going on? Okay, so who we got here? Charles Dawes, the 30th U.S. Vice President. He's related to him twice, too. Okay. What about FDR, the 32nd President? He's related through John Howland. Okay. But let's see how many times is he related to this man? Yeah. Oh, well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times he's related 5 different ways to this one man. Can I ask you something? How many people are you related to 7 different ways? You know what I mean? To the same person. How about the wife of Theodore Roosevelt? How many times is John Hinckley? 3 times he's related to this woman. 3 freaking times. But it's not a monarchy. Okay, who's next? How about Rutherford B. Hayes, the 19th U.S. President? Wow, what a coincidence. He's related to him 2 different ways. 2 different ways. Okay. What about this guy? How about, no, we did Sir Winston Churchill already. How about this guy, the 29th Governor of Rhode Island, James Young Smith? He's related to have the same grandfather, Isaac Wheeler's. But keep in mind, they also share the kings, too. That's just a note. But how many times is he related to that James Young Smith that we just said? Wow, 4 times. 4 times related to another man. But it's not a monarchy. That sure looks like a monarchy. How about Increase Summers, 5th Governor of Massachusetts? He's related by a Robert Williams and Elizabeth something. They don't have the last name. Let's see how many times. Twice. He's related to this guy twice. 2 different ways. He's 5th cousins and 5th cousins. 1 through Robert Williams and 1 through John Thompson. So, like, why is he always related twice or more, 5 times to these people? How about Aaron Burr? Okay, Aaron Burr shot and killed Alexander Hamilton. John Hinckley shot President Reagan. Simon Tuttle. They're related to they got the same grandfather, but not only that, they share the same 7 kings that go back over 1,300 years ago. Okay, so let's see what's next. Oh, Nancy Reagan. Remember, he shot her husband, and they're related through. They have the same grandfather now. Nathaniel Robbins and Mary Robbins. And not only that, they share, because they're both mega royals, they go back to the same 7 kings, man. Okay? So he's related to the wife of the guy that he shot. He's related, I mean, how many times is he related to Nancy Reagan? 2 times. He's related to Nancy Reagan 2 times. She's related to Nancy Reagan through Edward Mauvais. George Bush and John Hinckley share the same grandfather called John Gallup. And not only that, they share the same 7 kings from 1,000 years ago, over 1,000 years ago. Okay? Now, if John Hinckley would have killed Reagan, Bush would have been the president. How many times are they related? How many different ways is John Hinckley the assassin and the vice president who would be president? How many times are they related? 5 different ways. Why are the assassins also having this royal blood? Here you can see Barbara Bush's famous kin, and I scroll down, right? And you'll notice she has all 5 kings, the 7 kings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. John Hinckley, here's his famous kin. Who's a grandfather to him? Charlemagne and Alfred the Great. And look at what, see? Alfred the Great and Charlemagne, they share 2 grandparents. If they share 2 grandparents, that means they're cousins 2 different ways. Okay, here's her, how many times she's related to Jodie Foster. 3 different times, 3 different ways. How about Jodie Foster? Remember, John Hinckley shot Reagan to impress Jodie Foster. Yeah, they're related. And they share Gerald Spencer again. Yeah. And they share the kings. Because they're both mega royals. So they both share the 7 kings as grandfather. Oh, and look, he's related to her 2 different ways. 2 different ways. Wow. Okay. But let's get over it and go on to the next one. What about, see, this is the name again, John Lithrop. Joseph Smith. And I wanted to bring him up because, again, this goes back to the MK. I didn't believe in MK Ultra until I started looking into things this last year, really. This last 6 months, really. Or, well, last year, I guess. Yeah, Joseph Smith, the founder of the Mormon Church, is related to John Hinckley through John Lithrop, or Lothrop, or whatever the heck his name is. And how many ways is he related to this guy? Oh wow, 3 ways. 3 times he's related to this guy. 3 times. Really? Come on, man. I think John Hinckley Jr. was MK Ultra, and I think, and it's crazy, I wouldn't say this 6 months ago, but I think Jodie Foster was involved in the MK Ultra thing on John Hinckley. I think she was standing there in the room talking to John Hinckley while they were brainwashing him and drugging him and beating him and who knows what else. How about this guy? Again, with this John Lithrop. This is Alan Dulles. Remember, he's the 5th director of the CIA, just like George Bush was the director of the CIA. And John Hinckley Jr. is related to both of these directors of the CIA. Isn't that a little bit of a quink-a-dink-a-dink? Okay, well, what about this? How many times is he related to Alan Dulles? 2 different ways. 2 different ways. And he's related 5 different ways with the other CIA director. Okay, well, that makes sense. How about Jeffrey Dahmer and we did Aaron Burr. All the assassins are, Lizzie Borden, all of them. Yeah, John Lothrop again. They're related that way. Isn't that funny? That's how they're, Yeah, John Lothrop is a node. Okay, everyone has to, not everyone, but, specific, he's a specific bloodline. Like I said, they don't go just willy-nilly to these kings. They have to go through specific people and specific kings. And he's related to Jeffrey Dahmer 2 different ways. 2 different ways, just like everybody else. How about Gerald Ford, 38th president, who's big time into covering up everything with JFK and Nixon. Yep, they share a common Thomas Wells. Not only that, they share the 7 kings that I'm talking about. Just like all these people share, everyone I'm talking about, they all share the 7 kings. He's related to Gerald Ford 2 different ways. Nancy Reagan, all of them. She is related to Gerald Ford, Barbara Bush. What is that? 6 times, 6 different ways. How about this guy? Here's Nelson Rockefeller. That was a vice president during Gerald Ford. He was really big in the cover-ups of the JFK and Nixon and all that stuff there. Yeah, they share Samuel Borum and the Seven Kings, obviously. How many ways is Nelson Rockefeller, the 41st Vice President of the United States? 4 different ways. 8th cousins, 9th cousins, 9th cousins, 9th cousins. Oh, wow. But it's all just a coincidence. But what about this? Barbara Bush is related to John D. Rockefeller 6 different ways. How about Richard Nixon, 37th president? Yep. Henry Howland. He's related to him. And they share the 7 kings. But he's related to him 3 different ways, man. He's 9th cousins, 10th cousins, and 11th cousins. And this is not a good list. These are not full list. Okay. What about Barack Obama? And this goes back to my original video. This was the first node I found, the first intersection of royalty. Samuel Hinckley and Sarah Soule. Yeah. This guy, Samuel Hinckley, is the grandfather to Obama. He's the grandfather to John Hinckley. He's the grandfather to George Bush. He's the grandfather probably to Jodie Foster and Nancy Reagan. I haven't looked it up, but I don't know. But I mean, how many coincidences can you have, man? And how many ways are they related? Oh, I didn't do that one. How about the girlfriend? Remember, Jodie Foster is related to him, right? And JFK's woman, Marilyn Monroe. Yep, they're related through Gerald Spencer. And how many times are they related? 2. 2 different times, 2 different ways. Isn't that weird? How about Ulysses S. Grant, the 19th U.S. president? John Liptrop. Now, this John Liptrop, he's an actual node. You'll see his name a lot if you get into this, what I'm doing. You know what I mean? John Lothrop. So let's see how many times is Ulysses S. Grant and John Hinckley related. 2 times, 2 different ways. Wow, that's weird. You know, that's freaking weird. Barbara Bush is related to George Washington 6 different ways. How many ways are you related to people that you're related to? How about the 4th U.S. Vice President, George Clinton, 5 different ways. Jimmy Carter and Barbara Bush are related 5 different ways. Barbara Bush and Barack Obama have the same grandfather, Sir John Savage. Plus, they share direct lines to 5 of the 7 kings, and the other 2 are cousins to these people. Let's not forget, George H.W. Bush and his wife are related 12 different ways. They're 20th cousins, they're 7th cousins, 1st cousins, 3rd cousins. Pick a number. I want you to see how he is related to, because this is going to be the next guy, Mark David Chapman. We went over 4 or 5 the most famous political assassins. Now let's go into this guy here. One of the it's just like, I think Charles Manson. He's also a royal, I bet. I haven't looked into him yet, but Mark Chapman, he is a royal. He's the man who assassinated John Lennon. Let's look into him next, okay? You can see it's not just political assassins. If you try to preach love, you try to preach acceptance, and you try to, preach that everyone should be united in one box, you know what I mean, instead of divided into 100 boxes like black, white, gay, straight. If you teach that you should be in one, everyone should be in one box, and everyone should love each other, they send out Mark David Chapman to shoot you in the head. Just like they sent out John Hinckley Jr. to get Reagan. They sent out Lee Harvey Oswald to get JFK, and they sent out John Wilkes Booth to get Abraham Lincoln, and they sent out Aaron Burr to get Alexander Hamilton. Everybody involved is a royal with the same freaking royal bloodlines. But hey, I'm just crazy nut job. It's just all a freaking goddamn freaking coincidence, right? Okay. Whatever.